Can we
in
get
case.
the intro?
What? You have a question already in the beginning? What? Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I asked him if I could get the beginning of this video. I recorded this whole
The
time.
whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome to the first ever live Everyone Knows You're High, brought to you by the Hawaii Cannabis Expo. Calling this one the Grow Show. This is the star of the show, the Grow Guru.
Definitely not the star, but the assistant to this guy. The assistant to the star.
The assistant to the White Yoshi, aka Uncle Eric. And we have on panel, on podcast for our first live, Victor from Big Island Grown.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you for joining us. And Aunty Fehren joining us.
Pakalolo Farmers Hawaii.
Hi.
But yeah, so we're here with growers. That's going to be the main focus of this panel. I have three very seasoned growers up here, so they're going to share their expertise, talk a little bit about how they feel the culture, the direction of things have been going, and where they see the future.
We're just gonna not keep it so much as an interview formality, because that's not what our podcast kind of does. We just kind of talk story and just shoot the shit. And we speak from the heart too. So that's the number one thing. Is we ask people to speak from the heart as an individual and as a grower with a relationship to the plant. Yeah? So that's what we do. I don't like to slap labels on myself or anybody else. We just like to be like, we're all stewards of the plant, and your relationship to the plant gives you the power to do what you want to do in the industry. Right? So we want you guys to speak on what knowledge you guys have, and to speak from your heart. That's it. Easy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And at the end, if we have time, we may take your questions. So keep your hands down for now, and you can raise them at the end.
But first, we usually do everything with a thankful joint, just to kind of kick everything off. So you can't smoke in this building.
I haven't heard that. Is that true? We can't smoke in here? I mean, I haven't heard any announcements regarding the...
Me neither. I mean, she got this, right?
Thank you. Thank
She
you.
got it.
But yes, since we can't smoke in here, we're not rule breakers, but we are rule benders. So we have this. I'm gonna unroll it while you guys take it from here.
All right. Let's do a little. Let's see what he's doing. Oh shit, he has a fake joint. All right, cool, man. Just tell us a little bit about you guys. So, starting with Aunty down there at the far end and working our way back.
Hi, I am Fehren. CEO of Pakalolo Farmer, I guess.
Yes.
Well, that's such a...
Run it.
Yeah. I am the eldest sister of my family over there, who surprisingly came unannounced. So yay. Been ku'ing kalo with Daniel Anthony for 7 years, and so that's where I kind of got a little bit nerdy as far as farming and soil health and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And if you didn't know, she facilitates a lot of the women's into growing, and she sets a good example of how to carry yourself around the industry, how to act, how to be open, and how to take people in, and just spread mana'o the right way. So shout out, Aunty. And then you, sir.
How's it? Victor, I'm the director of cultivation at Big Island Grown. Long-time cannabis advocate, long-time cannabis grower, cannabis patient. Grew up on the Big Island, growing cannabis, from a young age, and decided to turn it into a profession, and kind of moved away to the Bay Area, got my stripes, got some good experience in that market, more of a mature market, and then came back and started working with Big Island Grown, and just trying to, provide good medicine for the patients.
Yep. And as a dispensary with Big Island Grown, they hire the local people. They're not outsourcing. He's been putting out, everybody knows that's probably the best dispensary in the state, that they're putting out the fire. And it's time and time again that he's been able to replicate this. And that tells you the talent of someone. Their relationship with the plant is you're just not a one-trick pony. You got to keep on putting out and innovating and being on top of that. So shout out, buddy.
Thank you.
And thank you both for being here. So we'll start at that end of the table. Pass this thankful joint down, and you can take a little pantomime puff.
spicy. I love it.
I don't have like the Cruella de Vil long thing.
The cigarette holder.
Yeah. What I am thankful for, and time and again, I'm going to say, Vite, our waters. Can't stress how important it is. We need water every day, and the fact that what they're doing to our waters is not good. So imagine how better we as people would be, and our ecosystem and our aina, our Hawaii would be if we had healthy water. So, alama your streams.
Hi, we like that. Yeah, buddy.
I'm thankful for just, to be here today and for the cannabis plant, and all the opportunities it brings and all the people it brings together. It kind of proliferates a lot of relationship building and good conversation.
Cherry. My turn. Nah, salty.
You threw up
Salty.
for a bit already?
Salty.
You never even take a hit and he's throwing up already. That's not right.
I'm thankful for cannabis in its entirety. I'm thankful for the plant and what it's been doing to help humankind. Not much plants out there that we can use as a medicine. Even as a smokable medicine, there's not really a delivery system. I've talked to many medical professionals. That's not really a conventional delivery system, and just the fact that we're able to embrace this, even in Western medicine, this plant, it says a lot. So I'm very thankful for this plant. Careful, it's a grabber.
I can't do that long. I'm thankful. Mega lungs. I'm thankful for all of you sitting here today, actually, and everyone who's here at the Expo. The people who are checking it out, the vendors, the organizers. It's good to see that there are so many people who aren't held down by the stigma of cannabis anymore. Like, that's one of our main things, is trying to break this stigma. And it saddens me and angers me sometimes to see that there are so many people still out there who have these archaic ideas about this plant and what it means and what it can do. And it's like, I'm happy to see that there's this huge community still that is past all that bullshit already. So thank you to all of you.
And Hawaii as a general, yeah.
You guys wanna
Throw it.
don't know where it went. Just leave it on us.
Right here.
Keep it over here.
No, that's cool, man. I like that. Hawaii is very smart as far as like, we're very practical and smart. So it's like, we know this shit works. We're gonna fucking do it regardless of what anyone else says. And shout out to every one of you who think that way. Like, we don't care about this. We don't care that the governors are putting these laws on us. Fuck that. This plant is for us, and it's for us to do whatever we want with it. So hell yeah, dude.
But I will reiterate, we're not rule breakers.
Benders. So yeah, man, and that's why I wanted to touch on this kind of thing personally, like the culture of cannabis and the up and coming culture of cannabis. We see these things, that the hype videos, that the fucking word Zaza. I hate that fucking word. I'm sorry, guys, if you like it. I fucking hate that word. But that's part of the culture that's misinterpreting what true cannabis is about. It's like, oh, it looks purple, it's frosty, it looks this way. What does it do for your elements? Whatever your elements is, do you like it because of the medicine that it provides you, or are you an economical guy that you like the way it looks because I'm gonna fucking resell that shit, And that's true story. I mean, that's the real thing. People are looking at it as an economical standpoint when it's a medicine, and it's very convoluted right now in this culture. We want to produce, or not produce, but we want to produce individuals that's going to have this mentality of priorities. Number one is health. Economics is going to follow that if you have a Pono way of operating, and that's kind of like what I want to push for in my MO towards this movement. How do you guys feel about the culture and what's going on? What's your guys' reflection about that?
Ooh, how, like you said, Zaza and that type of culture, like the hype, and I do not appreciate that. For me, in my perspective, cannabis is a medicine, and let's respect that medicine. I don't know, we're all adults here. It's almost like pornography.
Totally.
You got like some guys circling around like, oh, I was like, no, let's see how it does better your elements, whether it's mental, spiritual, physical. It's much more than just circling around and la-di-da.
Yeah, I agree. I can attest to that. I mean, Because we're vertically integrated, we have to produce a diverse menu, which is, hopefully we find something for everybody, which is really hard. Everybody has unique endocannabinoid system, so each strain is going to affect you differently than it affects him and me and her, right? So having a widely diverse menu is very important. So hopefully somebody can find something that works for them and why they're there, and really helps their quality of life overall.
Right.
And really that's pretty complicated in essence to, have this plethora of diversity within vertical integration. And we do so by trying to hunt seeds, hunt genetics, and really find those unique cultivars rather than just, flipping the same clones everybody else has got, the Zaza and the whatnot, right?
I mean, I saw a pack in a fucking McBucket, and if that doesn't show you how bad it is, a fucking weed in a McBucket is a contradictory, because we know that McDonald's is really, really bad for you. Weed is supposed to be a medicine. It's a desecration of weed to throw it in a fucking McBucket. And for me, I gotta make sure that everyone knows this, because that's desecration to our plant, And shout out to you guys. You guys do the pheno hunts. You guys also shop local with local cultivars, people that actually have skin in the islands. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like that about you guys, that you guys are able to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, like you, Aunty, you've been hitting ground level from the beginning. So all your hard work that goes into what you do, for someone to undercut you for a snazzier package, that's a slap in the face for the true farmers,
For sure. Yeah, I mean,
Zaza was pizza.
yeah.
I think it's za and da for pizza and soda.
Za and da.
Yeah, I've heard that before. That was pretty dope.
Za and pop. Popza.
Pops up.
I
I
tried.
think za and da has more of a ring to
I thought it was slang for exotic. That Zaza.
Yeah, Zaza
Yeah, it
is
is.
slang for
When I
exotic.
first heard it, I thought it was pizza.
Well, that's the fucking culture, right? Just say exotics then, man. Zaza. I don't know, man.
People like to abbreviate things and shorten things too, right? Do we not? Everyone here's from Hawaii, I'm assuming. Do we not like to abbreviate things and then pluralize it by adding an S at the end of it?
Yeah.
Everything? Think about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say any. Just think in your head. You'll know. You'll hear them out loud in your brain.
Chout is one of them.
Yeah.
Chow? I like that word though.
Watch
Chow.
out. Chout.
Yeah. Ooh, what's another? That's a nice one.
Or locations wise, right? Allah's, Pearls, all these places. That's the only two I can think of actually. Maybe it's not that many.
My favorite thing about local culture is when they point with their mouth. I like that right there. That gets me.
Big Island is over by the Aunty with the tree by the fence. It's
Landmark.
yeah.
Bro, this guy drew me a map one time in Big Island, and then he fucking drew a mailbox and a tree and an arrow. I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
dude, I cannot fucking get to where you're at. I'm sorry. I'll see you tomorrow.
You'll see it when you get there. You'll know exactly what he was drawing
Yeah,
when
I'm
you see
looking
it.
for a mailbox, guys.
It's like a treasure map. You're up there
But you thought he just drew a regular mailbox. When you see the mailbox he drew the exact mailbox.
It looked like an ordinary fucking mailbox.
Yeah.
It's like you need a seer stone to figure it out. It's crazy.
Anyways,
Yeah. So another thing I want to touch on is appreciation. Appreciation versus appropriation. I stopped by your booth and one of your homies brought that up. Try to elaborate to me what that means.
Yeah, I think that really comes down to intention and what we're doing and why, right? Ultimately, the goal is to provide quality medicine to the patients. That's kind of why we're all here. That's why cannabis has been allowed to progress as much as it has, right? We all understand that it's medicine. So I think keeping that intention, keeping the plant health and all that as one of the lead driving forces, I think that's how we kind of avoid the situations of, growing with just the profit in mind, not the patient. And then that proliferates to, less appreciation and more appropriation. So instead, try to flip that script, try to really follow the core of what we're doing and why we're doing it, to provide good cannabis medicine and really be good stewards. I really like that word that you used earlier. We're ultimately stewards of this plant, trying to progress, trying to learn, trying to push this to be the best that it can in every way. And I think that's how you ride that balance. For us, we're a dispensary license, so there's a lot of focus on doing the right, we have a lot to account for. A lot of people are looking at us and expecting us to provide a certain thing, and we really have to deliver. And that's, you know, a big responsibility that we have, and that I would hope we can fulfill by really, you know, the appreciation of the plant ultimately as the goal.
What about you, Aunty Fehren? Appreciation versus appropriation. What does that mean to you?
For me, Aina is first. We are
100%.
stewards of the land. So for me, when I see that we're able to help better the cannabis community, and like we grew up with the saying that leave places better than you found them.
100%.
And so with how cannabis, we're still stuck in this medical scene, that's okay. I'm worried about when the big boys from the States come to here and they don't have the connection to Hawaii. And so my appreciation with Aina is if we can utilize this plant to help better Aina and our soil, it's a win-win for everybody.
100%. For me, appreciation versus appropriation is when the entities come in, the states, or if they do have a foothold, appreciate, don't appropriate. You know, don't have your fucking packages say aloha on it. Don't have your packages using our languages, because like, I'm Kanaka, she's Kanaka. It offends us if you slap our words to make a sale. That's bullshit, in my opinion.
How do you stop them from just hiring one Hawaiian dude and saying, well, he works for us, and so we can, right? That's cool.
Then you pull this fucking Hawaiian card.
Ah, you fucked up. You can't do that. I don't think you can do that.
I don't know. We vote on it, I guess. Democracy, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just think about this guy. Pull what?
But like, yeah, when does it become cultural appropriation? Is it just when they start slapping Hawaiian words on packaging, or is it when they start making claims to things that...
I think both, and I think non-contribution is a big thing too. So if you're pulling all this profits and you're not putting it back to the state to help out the keiki or any which way of our culture, now it's an appropriation, because you're not only exploiting the locals by taking their money, you're not giving back to the locals who supply your business. And those guys should be the ones that, I mean, their kids should be taken care of. You guys saw the clips of the school lunches. I fucking say this on every episode. My children have public school lunches and they're eating fucking snot milk. You've seen that before, guys. I mean,
Snot milk?
did you see a viral video? The kid just poured out milk and it came out like a mucus cloud. And I'm like, we don't want that for our kids. We want good fucking food. Japan gives the kids bomb food. And they're in an economic crisis right now. That's no excuse for us. So if there's big businesses coming in, I mean, I'm gonna grab you by the nuts and say, dude, give me your fucking money, give it to the kids. That's
You don't want Kalei grabbing you by the nuts.
I have a strong grip, trust me.
And unfortunately, you know, the stigma behind cannabis is it really prevents a lot of that like cross connection of like, you know, involvement or giving back to the community in certain ways. There's a lot of hesitancy because it's like, well, we don't want to project this as like we're for it, but we are, and we're, you know, so it's like this really interesting place that I think that'd be one of many places to sort of work on that stigma, and then so those connections can be made easier and facilitate some of them.
Totally, and I get it. The economics and the numbers and stuff, it has to justify. But we do have a number on the islands, the number on consumers and possible revenue, and you know, taxation is pretty high. I mean, you guys could understand that, right? So, I mean, a lot of this money should be going back to the communities and streamlined back to the children, if anything. You know, like I ran through like 6 potholes on my way over here. Jesus Christ, man. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
All right, enough of that political bullshit. What's your guys' growing struggles and where you guys are at, and how do you guys overcome those growing struggles? Ooh.
Being a female,
Oh, snap, bro. Okay.
being a female in a male-driven industry is hard. Sometimes, most times, men don't take you seriously or have respect. Always doubting, especially coming from a Kanaka, right? Just like, oh no, Kalei, but you know, the white man. It's like, we know all of this, we have the money. It's just like, no, please listen to us females. We do have a say in caregiving. We come from mothers, and many generations down the line. We do know how to caretake and, you know, to love and aloha and malama. Another one, yes, being Hawaiian in this industry, it's challenging. I am mixed. I am part African American as well, so I know the statistics, and it's definitely in generational trauma that I carry. Another struggle is just not having land. Can't afford to have land.
Yeah.
My mom's on the wait list I keep nagging her, get that ag land, because that's kind of like almost my ticket in to like secure INA.
Yep.
And then after that, like generations after me, how can I secure and see 30 years from then? So it's just a matter, I hate the land grab.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to feel entitled to it, you know what I mean? But then again, it's important to put the Hawaiian lands back into Hawaiian hands.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's a fucking paramount thing for us, Kanaka.
I feel like it's safe to say that you kind of are entitled to it.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I mean?
it's
Like-
unconstitutional when we talk that way, though. So we gotta kind of keep within the red tapes of our conversation. But yeah, I mean, for you, like being a woman grower, you gotta also understand that, like, and the males have to understand this, that the maternal instinct of a woman is second to none. So you guys have this connection to what you're nurturing for more so than the man. I mean, I hate to be sexist, but that's the fact, right? Like, we'll beat on their fucking chest and throw dirt around and it'll stick. Some of us grow super good weed. But like, I want to see more female growers come out and kue and show what their talents are,
Same.
Totally.
It's a female plant. It has female energy, For sure.
100%.
It's part of the thing. Yeah, it's part of the energy.
Yeah, and us male, there's males out there that have, really good relationships with the plant and they're really good. Like, there's a lot of talented growers out there, male and female, But the female has a touch that the male doesn't. Let's just face it, that's fact.
Yeah, I mean, the struggles, staying true to it and really keeping the integrity and keeping the intention and trying to be different, trying to not produce the same thing as everybody else, try to keep it unique, offer people good medicine, bring genuine experiences and do the back work of trying to hunt these interesting cultivars and bring some of these unicorns to light, so people can experience them. Some of these really beautiful terpene profiles or these beautiful cannabinoid profiles that works great for them or helps Aunty do her laundry or helps give somebody back, quality of life, somebody that's struggling with pain or whatever they may be going through. And I think that's kind of really the struggle, is staying true to that and really making sure with everything, with all the politics behind it, with all the stigmatization behind it, with all the things that are proliferating within genetics and, all the factors, all the layers of that onion, and staying true, making all those pieces fit together to end up with a result that you're proud to represent.
Putting your name behind your product, that's the number one thing that we're trying to do here, right? And that's a really good test to what you're trying to do. It's like, put it out there, my name's behind it, let's see, right?
It leads to accountability as well, right? Because now your name is on it, so if there's a problem, people know who to get in touch with. Have you, both of you, either of you, like, gotten into, like, I don't know, how do you guys feel about, like, preserving local genetics? Like, I don't know if land race is the right word, right? Or
Heirloom.
Yeah.
But like, there's some strains out of Hawaii that are unique to Hawaii and genetics that come with that. So, how do you guys feel?
Yeah, I'm all for it. Hawaii strains, like if we can find like all these genetics, I mean, just like doing your mo'oku hau, right? Like, we know where we come from. So same with the cannabis, the strains that thrive in Hawaii, and we have a diverse economy as far as Puna, and then you have Ocean View, what else? In Kauai, in Maui, everyone has different challenges that they have to face, so it's a matter of finding what strains work. Also, like same with Hawaiians, right? We have certain people who are fishermen because they were brought up that way, and certain people who read stars because they were brought up that way. So same with genetics,
Yep.
same.
I agree 100%. When you're hunting genetics and you're running genetics, go back. Go back to the grandparents, the great grandparents, and see where they're acclimated at, where they're originally from, right? And see, first of all, if that will work in your area. And then maybe you have to run them a couple times. It may take a couple of years, but the acclimation is the key point in making sure that that strain is successful. Dirty Widow is another one in Big Island that it was there in the 90s as the White Widow, but if you ever grown in Puna, it's fucking wet. And
Super wet.
Dude, White Widow in Puna will never give you a successful harvest, bro. But the acclimation of the guys in Puna holding it for X amount of years, now you got Dirty Widow.
And understanding it and tweaking it and getting to know it, and okay, maybe we just grow this one down by the ocean because then we get the salty air and that'll mitigate some of the mold, like things like that. Like getting to know, tailoring it to it. You can't grow this one up the hill. You grow them down by the ocean, more better. But yeah, I'm all for it. We hunt all the time and really heavy focus on local genetics, local breeders. Try to get a grab bag from all the little different pockets, whether it's Kauai or Maui or Oahu, Big Island, different places on the Big Island. Everybody's got their thing that they've been working on or working with for a long time. So just trying to touch into those circles and, support the breeders, get seed stock, try to hunt something that's unique to the original cultivar you're looking for. Dirty Widow is a great example. I grew up in Puna smoking the Dirty Widow, and then it kind of disappeared. Everybody had it, and then nobody had it, and then now everybody wants it, right? And we've sourced a bunch of cuts, but they've all there's all different variations of it, and people kind of made their own crosses of it. So I haven't really come across what I would say is true to what I remember it being. But ultimately, just trying to hunt, trying to keep these lineages around. We also do tissue culture, so we try to backstock some of these things as we're going through if they maybe don't really work in our regimen and we can't actually grow it in a production aspect. We still try to keep them around, especially if they're a cool Maui strain or Big Island strain that's been notorious, and try to preserve that stuff, because when it's gone, it's gone. And no matter how much you hunt through some of these seed stocks, you potentially will never find that original uniqueness of that cultivar. So heavy focus on just hunting, I think, and proliferating and continuing to keep those lineages around before they disappear. And ultimately by popping seeds and keep breeding and just keeping it moving, keeping it around.
No, I like what you said. A lot of it too, when you got the variations of the Dirty Widow that's coming from a cut, that also makes you think about the integrity of the cuts. Making sure that people have integrity with the genetics, because it's very important down the line. Dirty Widow gets mislabeled as fucking superfood or something, it's gone forever. So we ourselves need to take it upon ourselves to be very meticulous and have good integrity when it comes to the genetics and giving the people the proper credit when it comes to it. Because if it's gone, there's no marker, it's gone.
How does one verify the authenticity of a cut they're getting from somebody?
I mean, hopefully you've had an opportunity to try it at some point and you can validate yourself, but otherwise I don't know that you can, right? I mean, at that point it's hearsay. Hopefully you have somebody close to you that maybe has tried it, but I mean, ask how many people, what did Maui Waui taste like?
Right.
Nobody knows, right? Is that the real Maui Waui cut? Because it's a lot of it before was markers too, right? So a lot of people were growing from seed stock, so it was just kind of broad terms. So that also kind of complicates the ultimate conversation of what is this and what is that, and the history and the lineages.
And once you hit into a seed, the genetics is opened up now. So it's not like you're getting what you fucking just smoked. You just opened up the genetic shitstorm of everything on its whole lineage that just came out. You know what I mean? So that's really hard too. And a lot of it with cloning, getting clones, sending clones, buying clones for the general public, we gotta understand that we're opening the islands up to pathogens that's coming from the states that we are not accustomed to and our island's not accustomed to. So we need to be very careful on how we're sourcing these clones coming over,
Absolutely.
I mean, the state of Hawaii is as good as that guy who snipped that clone. So he could have been in his fucking Beverese cutting that clone. I don't know, but who knows? I just got everything that's in his Beverese on my clones, right?
Unfortunately, a lot of viroids can be passed through seed stock transmission too. So just be careful. Know what you're getting. Know where you're getting it from. Know the people's habits, and are they sloppy or are they tight? Ultimately, because even unfortunately, a lot of stuff can be proliferated through seed stock too.
Yes, totally. That's unfortunate because people are under this false pretenses that seeds are sterile coming out, and that's a part of the education that we need to tell people. That like, hey, even if it's a seed, it may be infected, which is so sad.
Yeah. The wild thing is how many more pathogens every day that they're identifying that have now started to affect, cannabis, whether it's alfalfa mosaic or spongy top or lettuce chlorosis or hops or whatever, all the million different kinds of fusarium there are. And so that's scary, I'd say just understand where you're getting stuff and why and how and their habits. I think ultimately, because it's the Wild West out there, and there's a lot of stuff jumping around. You got to be very careful.
Well, that shit's also going to trickle down to what can remediate that pathogen, and normally what can remediate it is something that is proven in the States. So then again, we're starting to colonize our microbiology and trying to ruin it with things that are already coming from the States. So like it takes away the whole indigenous aspect of our microbiology, right?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. You want to read something out? Your money quiet over
I,
there, my friend.
have I been quiet? I mean, I'm letting the experts talk a little bit. All right. How about we do this? And what kind of music do you like to put on and listen to when you're in your garden, if you do listen to music? All right, here's an easier one. What kind of music do you listen to when you're in your car?
At the farm, we rock a lot of roots. I mean, just reggae, local, what all the crew likes, just the regular local reggae stuff, and a lot of roots. I'm down with the roots reggae when we're out in the greenhouse and whatever. So
It's Prince for me. Mic drop.
I was gonna say teen blouses.
Oh, shit.
Shucks, it's a mixture on the playlist. There's this new lady called Queen Irby, and she's very empowering and whatnot, kind of reminders. But yeah, the roots, it's always the roots. It's a good tempo, good level to kind of get everyone in a good mindset and moving and grooving.
Yep, good vibes, huh?
Yeah.
got to keep people moving too.
Shout out to Roughneck Posse, keeping gardening fresh, bro.
You guys both mentioned sort of, but not explicitly, the diverse microclimates that we have here in Hawaii. And people from the mainland might not know that every single valley you go to is different from the one you just came from. Would you guys mind elaborating a little more on how that affects growing, how it affected your grows, if at all?
Goodness. Let's see. I started to get curious or serious when COVID happened, and I was just growing in Kalei, lower Aleva, and that was cool. We had south-facing sun all day, and then moved up in Haiku. It's wet. It's not fun. We've had mold. And then got a chance to grow out of Ka'u, Ocean View specific, Kahuku. And she's nice out there. It's dry, it's cold, it's crisp, and that elevation up there was 1700. So yeah, she's pretty, but definitely different results.
What was the workload as far as between the two? What had the most workload? The wet environment, the dry arid environment, Aleva?
Depends. The wet one, we have to battle mold, and then just trying to stay warm and dry. Pay attention to your water as far as don't overwater your plants. And then when I was out in Ocean View, pests. Pests.
Yeah, I mean, the Big Island is pretty wild. There's a lot of diversity wherever depending on where you're at. Upper Puna, Lower Puna, up Volcano, Pahala, it's all super diverse. Then you get to the dry side, the deserts, the Ku'u. But I mean, I've had opportunities to kind of grow in all those environments, and ultimately just gotta tailor your style. Like you said, if you're in a wet environment, you gotta understand your soil. You gotta understand your water content and your ability to drain, stuff like that. You gotta, probably throw up some sort of coverage so you're not soaking those big buds. You let them dry out. And then, same if you're in, ideally you're somewhere with lots of airflow, a good ocean breeze coming through. That's really where I found the most success for just kind of my smaller scale back to, home grows. Just depends on where you're at and what you're trying to do really, and really ultimately understanding what your parameters are, what your challenges are, and then kind of tailoring how you're growing, what you're using, why your strains are really come into play at that point. What genetics are you growing and why, and just kind of tailoring it to the challenges that you're trying to deal with ultimately.
Is the booth on fire?
It is not.
Okay, cool.
It is not. I'm good.
There's a fire extinguisher.
Oh yeah,
We got a fire extinguisher.
You
We're
do.
good.
Yeah.
No, for real, dude. I like that. Like, as a grower, you gotta keep your head on the swivel all the time. Especially, you guys have millions of microclimates out there in the Big Island. It's pretty interesting to see the pests being such a big.
Major. It's an oasis, that's why, because there's such a desert out there that they find those little pockets of oasis. And
That's right. And you got that beautiful green. Oh shit.
Food.
I would think like high elevations it would kind of like not exist so much, but wow, that's pretty interesting. So what do you guys think about representing the genetics to its fullest potential and taking that time, whether it may be setting yourself up for failure, pushing a plant passes to its potential, knowing that it might mold on you? Do you guys exercise that approach, or do you guys are like, hey, fuck, we're just gonna take it at 8 weeks?
Why not bend the rules, right?
Answer.
I mean, you gotta stress test. So, let's see what you are made of, so to speak, right? So we got Marines, for example, they're gonna push you. So why not try to push the plant and to really get to know her and what she's able to handle. Hurricane season, she might be the one,
Right.
yeah, agreed. I mean, I think you gotta max it out to understand what you're working with. Do I got a 6-weeker? Do I got a 12-weeker? And how do I assess that and why? And how do I apply that and why? Where do I grow my 12-weeker and why? What is my intention for that? And because everything kind of has its place depending on what you're looking for and what you're doing. And I guess it comes back to just intention and like, what are you hunting for? What are you trying to proliferate? What are you trying to exude from this cultivar ultimately? And does it fit into what you're trying to do? Does it fit into your regiment? Does it fit into your garden? Is it big? Is it small? Is it what you need it to be? And ultimately, that's the game, is finding the things that you need them to be, kind of, and working together with the plant to make that a mutual relationship.
I always have like an action plan before I start a project, right? It's like, okay, I'm doing the Agent Orange and the grapefruit, right? So I kind of know what the grapefruit does and know what the Agent Orange does. So I have an action plan on what I'm looking for right off the bat, right? Where I'm gonna put her, and you got to be kind of a genetics nerd, go back on it, right? And then be like, okay, I got Agent Orange and grapefruit. This is the kind of possibilities I might have. This is the environment I'm gonna try and create, and then you'll run into those problems of the negative parts of those genetics and then how to counteract those.
I always say like success is where intention meets execution.
100%.
You come through, you think about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then you execute it, and that's ultimately, as if you can get to what you're trying to accomplish, that's a success.
Totally.
Having that plan, and you may have to change that plan, you may have to learn from that plan. Maybe that was a failure, but then taking that failure, learning from it, applying it next time, and keep it moving.
Do either of you have a favorite strain that you like to grow, personally speaking?
Yes. But it depends on the season
Correct.
as
That's
well.
actually the correct answer. Yes.
Yes, depends on the season.
I mean, I'm lucky enough to really see a lot of diverse cultivars, all the time. So I can't say that I could pick a favorite. I love walking through and just smelling all the flowers, and they're all unique in their own way. They all offer different things.
Let me add a little more stakes to the question then. If you could only grow one more strain for the rest of your days, what would it be?
OG Kush.
That was a quick answer, dude.
Sour Diesel. Master Kush, Aunty, yeah?
I do love Master Kush, but maybe like a top 5. I cannot pick and choose. It's hard. Yeah.
You're never gonna commit to just one, huh?
I mean, women, we come in all sorts of moods, so.
Only OG because it's eclectic, you know. It has those memories of like coming up, the good days, you know. A lot of cannabis experiences are eclectic. It brings you back to a point, and I think that's where people tie in strains and they have, you know, experiences and nostalgia with certain things, and that's cool to like be able to bring some of those things back and be able to touch on that for people.
Well, we had the Super Silver Haze at Auntie's booth, and like watching people come up, the older folk, and they open them and like see their eyes like, whoa, I remember this. I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking
Just
awesome.
for
Yeah, it's
clarification,
fun.
what age is older folk?
How old are you?
Oh, bruh.
Skip that question. Pass.
I just said older. I'm 39, so anything
Anything older than you?
older than me, it's older than me, right? Jeez, you're an asshole. This fucking guy likes to corner me on these tough questions, man. You know.
Just a point of clarification. On the flyer for this panel, it classified me, or some person named ERIC is a expert home grower. That's not me. I'm ERIK, and I'm the guy who disrupts the podcast all the time. So just so you guys are wondering why I'm not answering these questions myself.
Regardless
I'm
of
not a
flower.
grower. I'm not a grower. I tried it one time and the plant died, and I was like, that's enough for me.
That's enough fun.
Yep. You can have your lights back. Kalei. I gave it a go.
We tried. Take it back. Okay, so what's your guys' views on mega farms? I know this is kind of a tough subject, but in Hawaii it shouldn't be. We should be able to talk about this. What's your guys' take on mega farms and the collateral damage that they possibly could do to the island?
Mega farms. I think we all know at one point when you get too greedy, it's not good. But if you do run one, make sure you're intentional, best practices. Make sure you leave everything you put into the ground will run off into our oceans. So
Leave
make
it
sure.
there where you can.
Yes, and the what worries me for mega farms is like, well, they do shortcuts. Well, they bring in the box nutrients and bottom nutrients, and how is that going to affect everything in a larger scale?
Yep.
And like make sure that everyone's on the same page. It's a tight ship to run. But I just hope that if they ever do a mega farm, that they understand sustainability type of,
I don't think Hawaii has a place for mega farms.
Yeah.
I don't think a monopoly has a place here in Hawaii. I think we're too community based and too like individual to have something where we can a Costco for fucking weed.
Exactly.
I think that's horrible. And honestly, feasibility, there's no way to get around bottle roots if you're doing it that big.
Yes.
So they might not think they're cutting corners, but they're fucking cutting corners, and the collateral damages are streams. The land usage. You guys are taking up all this land. What are you doing with it?
What is the threshold for a mega farm? Like, what makes it mega?
I don't know.
That's a number that's pretty convoluted. I think like if you were to where you can control the market, I think it would be a mega farm.
True.
Where your price points would kind of supersede everyone else's price points because your supply will keep up with the demand. I mean, let's face it, 953,000 people live here in Oahu. How many of you guys smoke in this building? I guarantee 40%. You know what I mean?
Don't raise your hands, you're gonna get busted. It's a trap, don't do it.
So let's say
We just
40% of
love-
people
just wink.
in Hawaii fucking burn. Like, that's 400,000 people. Easily.
Yeah.
That's a lot of herb to be supplying to everybody.
It is like the capitalization on it, right? But also, like you said, community. Like Hawaii thrives in community,
100%.
and that's how we take care of each other. Like down the street, grandma needed help carrying groceries in the house. You drop those groceries and you go help grandma. And when you build those relationships, you build that network. Everyone just kind of looks out for one another, and the care is so different when you build community.
It was pretty funny. My dyslexia just kicked in, and I just heard That you're gonna help the groceries and drop grandma. Oh God, it's so bad.
Please
But
don't
you're
drop
100% right. We're setting this cultural values that we have to abide by as a community. If not, we tear apart. Everything goes to shit.
Yeah, I think time and time again, any kind of mega approach to anything isn't really the answer. And ultimately, you know, being able to sustain and being able responsible use, you know, responsible understanding of what you're doing and how you're, you know, your piece of the puzzle in the environment and how you're playing that. And I think, you know, mega farms don't have a place. I think Big Island is a great example of a lot of kind of microclimate community sort of supporting. I think, you know, if we really focus on that kind of ideal and really set up, I think that's how we, you know, ultimately are successful. You know, we try to support all the micro farms around us with big gummies with fresh seasonal local fruit. So, you know, as much as we can kind of create ancillary opportunities at our scale, I think that's something that, you know, is ideal. And I think once you get to that mega, you're not able to source locally. You're gonna buy the containers and get that shipped in because of the scale. So I think you know, a mega farm is never good, and really keeping at that scalability where it still supports the community and the opportunities, and you're not outpacing that. That's, you know, success.
Yeah, I think like you know, when the farmers tend to realize like we are closer than we think, you know, and if you need help, we should help you. If I need help, you should help me. And just that's how we're gonna keep Hawaii, you know. When people are like, nah, fuck you, I can do it myself. I don't need you. That's when we start tearing apart our foundation of what we grew up with, our culture. And I think that's what makes Hawaii so valuable to the States is our culture and the aloha spirit that comes along with us. So when we're out here, you know, like smiling at everybody, aloha, you know, that's organic. And the States, they look at that and like, I wish I had that in my state. You know, and that's where like, okay, maybe I can come over there and learn a little bit, you know, which is totally cool, but now we get into the appropriation part of things, right? Yeah. What you think, Aaron? You've been quiet.
About what? I keep saying I'm quiet. I've been quiet, you guys. Seriously, I'm listening to you experts.
Okay, what do you think when you're listening? Give us your feedback. Right? It doesn't matter.
Don't say that. Don't say that. It would be inappropriate. I have a joke here, but maybe I shouldn't say it because they're talking about serious shit.
Dude, fucking joke away, dog.
No,
Go
dude.
for it.
No, well, it's too late now. I'm not gonna bring it back.
You missed the
up.
punchline.
Yeah, it's way too late now. But regarding like mega farms, because I know I asked like what constitutes what makes it a mega farm. Like in my mind, I'm thinking like the Dole plantation size, like those freaking huge. Is that what you guys are talking about, or is that like not that? That's too big.
No, that's kind of where my mind went. I mean, anytime you're saying mega, I think, you know, large, hundreds of acres, you know, style, large. There's some giant cannabis farms out there now. Yeah. So a mega scale cannabis farm in my mind could be, you know, 100 acres plus.
We have like a lot of bad experience with big farms and big farm industry coming in here, taking water, poisoning the land, doing all that kind of shit. So is that like a fear that these cannabis
trauma response
farms are going to do the same?
Yep.
Hugely. I know. It's in my blood. I know that definitely my ancestors like worked on these plantations, and it is scary. And then we've seen it growing up right before our eyes. Like it's happening. It's a land grab, and we're tired of it.
We're all plantations.
This is going to be a weird question, but I'm just asking out of pure innocence and curiosity. Like, if a mega farm opens, they're going to need a lot of people to work it. So wouldn't that bring jobs to Hawaii at the same time?
It's like working for TNT.
It's like working for Dole all over again.
Yeah, but if it gives people jobs, like, is it that?
But at what point are you gonna sell your values to earn a fucking minimum wage job?
So I'm gonna ask this then: is all the people working in the hospitality industry evil? I mean, maybe not evil now. So you guys, I know you guys are saying that.
We're funneled into this tourism economy, right?
Making it controversial since I'm being so quiet and I don't speak
I
up.
like
farming
it,
humans.
So I know it's a.
What if they pay them good wages, but you work for a fucking Monsanto weed or whatever the fuck it is, but you know what I mean? You're getting a good living wage, you can support your family, and you just work on a mega farm.
Yeah, fuck that.
It screws up the passion screws up the creativity. You gotta
We call
farm
those
this way. You
sellouts,
gotta
bro.
have this standard.
You know, we call those sellouts because, like, bottom line is we're working for our kids, we're working for our future of our family, we're working for this stuff, and if we're just working, we're just feeding into the fucking system. You know, we gotta work for a betterment and a change in the future. And you know, if I work for a mega farm, I won't ever work for a mega farm, but if I was to work for a mega farm, I would make sure
I
that.
got this check right here. That's zero.
Sorry, I'm not a fucking sellout, dude. I'll tell you to shove it up your ass because it's not a
Wait.
Where's my kids are gonna fucking.
Wait. Only if the didgeridoo guy blows at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
Then you can shove it on my ass.
Wow.
I mean, I think time and time again, it's just shown that that's not a successful model. You know,
No.
in any way, right? Like the chicken farms in the mainland right now, these big mega chicken farms, they're all struggling. They're all getting bird flu, and I think that similar thing just applies to so many industries. The corn industry, all these industries that have tried to go mega, and we've seen that it ultimately is devastating to the land. It's devastating to the communities, and ultimately not a successful, very short-term successful model.
Well, that's
not
the race to the
long-term.
bottom, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
everyone's doing that. We see it in cannabis nowadays. Like, oh, $1,000 a pound, I'll go in 800. It's like that does nothing for fucking nobody. You know what I mean? And that's what constitutes a mega farm. You know, a mega farm doesn't have to be acreage and acreage. They could just be someone that's pumping out herb so much, so fast that they can control the masses by adjusting the market value. You know, if you're doing it legally and you have that opportunity, you should be putting it towards the community and trying to help this keiki get better. I'm all for
To
it.
play devil's advocates, are they not like paying state taxes and stuff?
No, state taxes is good, but I mean, dude, like,
So
do a
is it
little bit more for your community. It's more about the
like
heart
more
protection.
charitable, like philanthropic work?
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people are like, well, fuck, I'm paying my taxes good enough. No,
Well,
you have the
I was
means.
asking that because I know taxes is not.
Yeah. I mean, you have the means to do a lot, and why wouldn't you? You're making this profit margin, like. You know, your Lexus. Yeah, go for
I
it.
have a
you know?
Lexus, dude.
No, I'm just saying.
I drive a
if-
minivan.
A mega farm, bro. You're gonna have a fucking Lexus, or you're gonna have something crazy. Dude, just give that up.
How do you know that though? How do you know they're gonna do that?
I mean-
you've seen it.
I wouldn't be getting in the business of mega farms if I wasn't making money. You know what I mean? Those guys are making substantial money.
Mm.
So, you know.
Is it like? Are you basing this?
I know there's
And
people
I'm
out there
not-
be like, fuck you, Kalei, you don't know nothing.
Well, I'm
I
trying to
mean-
get to the bottom of this because, like, where do these mega farms currently exist? Probably like California.
It could be anywhere,
I think-
all over, bro.
Yeah, I think
As long as if you can control the market, you're a mega farm.
the scariest thing I think is the posturing, the people like about like getting ready for it to be ultimately maybe federally legal potentially, like the Hawthorns and the people. You know, I used to work for the grow shop before I worked for Big Island Grown, and I was a part of that system when I saw Hawthorne and Monsanto kind of come in and buy a bunch of the distribution models, buy out a bunch of the nutrient companies, buy out a bunch of the light companies, and they put they gave people an ultimatum in a lot of respect, and they said either you basically will write you a check and we own your company, or we're going to stop distributing your products because ultimately we control the distribution model also. So you know it was
Dirty business games.
yeah. It's so what really scares me is what like those players looming. You know those people stacking, getting ready for when things, you know, and how do we turn that? You know how do we protect ourselves from
Right.
that?
You know what's
They're all
crap?
just licking
Verbatim.
their chops, waiting to get it.
Well, yeah,
all
that's
to the-
well, they're riding that
Right.
fucking wave of like the constitutional, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they can't keep it local. They can't keep it, you know, oh, you're from Hawaii, you're Hawaiian, you're Kanaka, you get this back. They cannot because that's unconstitutional. So now we gotta kind of
Okay.
like they're gonna preach that. Oh, that's unconstitutional. You can't do that. When in actuality, like that should be a thing. You know what I mean? Aunty should have her own farm and she should be able to sell her goods how she like them as she's compliant with state regulations. To me, if it's safe, it should be able to go.
I think in a lot of places, I know like a lot of the Native American reservations and stuff are trying to set some precedents as far as like, you know, we're gonna do what we want to do. You can't really tell us what you know we're gonna do. And, So it's cool to see a lot of that kind of proliferate and start, you know, some precedents starting to be set in that respect.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the locals, I mean, I'm not speaking for them, I'm speaking for myself. You know, if I could have a humble spot that's done with intention, and I can do and I know that my goods is being contributed towards the keiki, you know, that would be such a plus for me. I don't need to be making millions of dollars, but if I can support my family doing something that I love, I want, you know, I'm good. Good, retire, we're good. Yeah.
So it sounds like it's more of a mindset shift than like the law shift, because we can't do anything on legal grounds to stop these guys from coming.
I think a collective with everybody thinking the same way and not like pushing each other in different directions, and we can make progress, you know, with the common
So-
denominator. I think, yeah, we should.
In an industry such as this with so many diverse characters and thoughts, how do we get everyone to be on the same page mentally? I mean, this is a grow show. I'm
show,
sorry.
dog. Come on.
I'm sorry. I
Grow show. Like,
mid-sentence, I realized what I was doing, and I was like, shit, my bad. Sorry.
Why you
I'll leave. I'll leave.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being so quiet anyway. I'm not really
I
contributing, so I
think
might
a
as
lot
well
of
just
it's just
go.
like, you know, everyone just come to a common goal of like, what is practical for the people, what's gonna keep the money in Hawaii, and what's gonna keep our kids fucking staying here and not moving off island. Because, brah, I mean, in my own town, I'll go down the street or go to the store and I won't even recognize people anymore. You know, I grew up there, brah, and it's like, there's so much out-of-state people. Where's all my homies? I don't see them. They moved to the States. We didn't swap for these guys. I don't know you guys, you know?
And then waking up every day just kind of wondering, like, am I able to continue staying in Hawaii, our home, where I was born and raised? It's every day on my mind. It's concerning.
We got no other place to go, man.
No.
I ain't gonna assimilate to the States. I'm staying here. I'm gonna die here. So give me a shot of doing business, you know what I mean? Oh yeah.
For sure. I mean, just opportunity and not, you know, I think it's sad to just kind of see all this gentrification of, you know, of everything. Big Island, I think it's, you know, I've witnessed it myself as well on Big Island, and really, especially heavily over the last 10 or 20 years, just things just disappearing, land going, everything, new houses, you know, everything coming up. But, you know, just trying to stay true and just support each other and kind of find the commonalities, right? There's lots of things we all may disagree about certain things, but there's also things that we do agree upon. So I think finding those common grounds where we're in, you know, and breaking bread and having conversations and breaking down stigma and building relationships and ultimately, you know, trying to approach it from a realistic standpoint and get to know each other and find commonalities and start there, work from there.
Everybody's good people down there somewhere, you know what I mean? I'm sure we can find a common ground of how to progress for the sake of Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Definitely, we can agree on our well-being for our keiki,
Mm-hmm.
having good food. Food, come on now, we need food every day, so
We need water.
we need water every day. So that's definitely a common ground. I was fortunate enough to like save money and send some of my nieces and nephews to like not full on pay for their college, but just like, here you go, have a little money from auntie and uncle.
Awesome.
Go use it, please use it for your college.
Yeah.
So stuff like that we can give back to community, I feel would definitely like help our keikis to progress forward and then set them up for success so they can come back and return the same, you know, gesture to home.
Yeah, we're not talking about Kamehameha schools and all that stuff. We're talking about private contributions.
Yeah.
It's not like Alolike, you know, FAFSA. We want these people to have their own, like, hey, auntie, just give me some money. There's some pride in that. I don't like fucking disappoint my auntie and fail my classes. You know what I mean?
No.
But yeah, but at the same
You
time,
heard. Nieces and nephews out there. Aunty Fehren is making sure you guys are getting good grades, attending all your classes.
and don't forget to come home too. So if you learn you got this education, come home and share it with us and help out Hawaii. Don't stay in the mainland and benefit them. Come back home if you're from Hawaii. If you can't, come back home with your college education, get a good job, and help us get better. You know.
Absolutely. Good. Beautiful. I really said that.
Thank you very much, man. That's like, it was like Will Ferrell in Old School just came over me. I wasn't thinking of anything, it just came out.
Pick this guy up. Sorry guys, my throat's still sore from that thankful joint.
That's pretty much. Okay, I mean, I pretty much touched everything that I wanted to get off of my chest. Do you guys have anything that you guys wanted to speak on? Anything you guys wanted to address? Anything that you guys want to push? As far as it being the grow show, you know what I mean? Like, take it away, Victor.
I'd say keep it interesting. You know, don't get keep growing, keep going, keep growing. You know, let's just keep it light, keep it fun. Remember why we're here. Remember what we're doing. Have the right intentions, and ultimately the rest is secondary.
We never even really talk about that. Like, oh, cannabis is fucking fun.
It is.
We need to keep that fun. Stop worrying about these checks and balances.
For sure.
So fun, I kicked the table.
Yeah.
Couldn't contain myself with all this
Recreation. Tribulation.
We have like 30 more minutes. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, we'll open it up for questions and interactions. You guys want to ball it out and talk? You guys have any questions?
Yeah, I have a
Send in
question.
your testimonies.
Actually, I have a question for you. How many of you are familiar with our podcast?
Sweet.
Couple hands. Nice.
Thank you. Appreciate that. You in the front in the red, you had your hand up. You have a question.
No, but just some people said some things on here.
What did they say?
What did they say?
Don't keep breeding inbred gelato crosses. We have seen more mutant plants due to lack of biodiversity.
Thank you.
I
Who
love
said
this
that?
conversation.
Keep it anonymous. Keep it.
Right.
Right.
They're just loving the conversation, education, gentrification.
Education on gentrification. I like that.
What's your guys' top strains? If you only could smoke one strain, what would be?
You said so.
100%.
I didn't hear you.
Expert
Well, as a
was waiting for that
homegrown expert, I don't know. This is like an unpopular answer, but I really don't have a favorite strain. I love all of it. But if somebody said, gun to my head, you can only smoke one for the rest of your life, it will probably be the Josie Wells from this guy.
Hey.
I think it's what, Gorilla Glue 4 or something? Yeah, I really like that one. That's just the tits, as they say.
I was gonna slap some would you rather's on this episode, but
Let's fucking do it.
Let's fucking do it.
What's up? You got a question in the red?
Yeah. How can politicians talk about social equality without the inclusion of Kanaka Maoli or Horn?
And they can't, right? They have to include them.
Mhm.
There, that's your answer. They have to. They should be included.
Yeah, try
Always.
to erase us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an assumption. They
I
have
think
to
it's
be.
more like what
It was more rhetorical. Like, how can they do this?
without our suggestions. Like what do they have to offer?
Mm.
I think that's what he was talking about. Are they able to?
Would you rather not be able to eat another edible again for the rest of your life, or everything you ate was infused?
Not eat one. I kind of burned myself out on edibles. I
got shit to do, man.
I could do without for a while.
After this weekend, I'm done.
I battled cancer for a little while. I had kidney cancer, and I would just saturate. I mean, I would eat hundreds of milligrams a day every few hours. So I think I had my fill. I've had a couple times where it's like, I'm way too high. My wife's asking me questions. I'm just incoherent. I can just barely mumble back. She's like, okay, I think you had enough for today. But,
Your shit just came with subtitles, huh?
yeah, exactly. She knew I was just signing her some stuff.
So while you're speaking in Spanish, I need this up to.
Yeah.
What about you, Aunty Fehren?
If I do the edibles, I do not function. Edibles come around when I have the time of the month, and that's when they're helpful. So I don't know, I probably would just not have edibles for the rest of my life and just deal with it so I can get some work done.
Ooh, I got a good would you rather.
I love good
What about
food
you?
too much.
Yeah, 100%.
Regular good food without some.
What if it's
It's good
still
with
really
weed,
good food, but it's just infused?
So you're fucked up. You don't remember you ate it.
No matter what, you always taste it. I swear, you can always taste it.
All right, this is a personal preference. Would you rather? But I think it's kind of a true one. Would you rather dab all the time or smoke all the time? If you had one way to consume cannabis, would you rather dab it or smoke it? If you could, you can't bounce back. It's like
I am not on that dab level,
That girl.
and also it's new. We don't know what's gonna happen, in time. But the joints, I like the joints.
Hell yeah.
What if you made that decision and in 50 years you're like, hey, dabbing's fine. It's actually way better than smoking. You're like, shit, I only can smoke for the rest of my life. Fuck. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
What about you, man?
I don't know if I could pick. They both have their.
This is a would you rather with like someone has a fucking gun to your head and you have to pick one.
We live in a universe where you have to follow the rules of the would you rather.
I'd probably choose flower then, ultimately. It's just a true expression of the plant, and you don't need all the gizmos and gadgets and tools. You could just twist one up with a paper and a lighter and be good to go.
When civilization crashes and that's like that post-apocalypse, you're like, shit, where's my dab rig?
Yeah. How do I close my puffhole?
We're gonna friction fire this.
Like the world is ended, it's all fucked up, it's post-apocalyptic, but you're still like, oh shit, I need a dab. Where's my dab shit?
You get that red blink on the puff go. You're like, no!
Oh my god!
Where's that USB-C?
It's over!
Can you imagine like having all the weed in the post-apocalyptic world but no papers or lighter?
Or lighter. Oh, are we big fire?
Oh yeah, you figure out. It's not that.
Imagine like sparking a joint and having to like rub sticks together every time you want to smoke.
No papers is no problem. You can make a pipe out of something.
Dude, I'll stick that shit in my nose and let it back out.
I'll make you a coconut bomb real quick.
Hell yeah! Make bombs for less, bro.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should bring a would you rather from our previous episode.
Okay,
It's
which
non-cannabis related.
Shit, I don't have my phone. They're all
You
on my
tell me.
phone somewhere.
You tell me.
I don't remember.
The ninja one. Tell them the ninja one.
No.
Okay, my scratching.
That one we can. I'm sorry.
Are you sure?
I mean, if you're curious to know what he whispered in my ear, you could go watch that episode.
Drew got it right there, but he knows.
There's an episode we did full of these off the wall would you rathers, and you can go watch that episode and you try and figure out what he just said in my ear.
What number is that?
Episode, I don't know,
Damn, you're good.
70 something.
I will say, if you could get that, you're good.
I'm not good apparently.
So what do you want to see in the future of cannabis, guys? Coming up, let's say 20 years down the line, what do you guys want to see?
Definitely a little bit more wahine in the space. Have some jobs for Kanaka out there. That way we can at least have land to kind of secure on. What else? Of course, good quality medicine, safe medicine, diverse. I mean, like we said earlier, Puna grows different from other locations. What else? And then incorporate like food and medicine. For sure, more of that. If you have farm space for cannabis, make room for food as well.
I'd say in the near future, I'd like to see more food security tied into, the production of cannabis and the farming and, different ways how to close those loops and tie in different systems and different approaches. Also just kind of stability and, genetics and people continuing. I think there's waves of where a lot of people are growing and then maybe the cost is too much and a lot of people stop growing. I know numerous people that used to grow the crip and don't grow anything now. So I'd say stability just in the near future. Hopefully that is a productive market and hopefully people can, continue doing what they love to do. I'd say in the long-term future, just keeping it good, and not, trying to avoid some of the drama and stuff that some of these legal states that, they've passed different legalization things and there's been failures and there's been successes. So I think, just longevity and longevity in the future of cannabis. So we can continue to use it as medicine and we can continue to have access to it and continue to help people and continue growing this plant that we all love to grow.
I want to see cannabis in the near future, ideally in the near future, be a main contribution factor in Olelo, Hawaii in public schools. I want it to be a curriculum, and I want it to be funded to where it is a priority for our kiki to learn Olelo, because that's the number one thing of our culture that we've receded from, is our language. And where language is, culture will follow. So I think it needs to be a priority to have Olelo, Hawaii in our public schools, funded by cannabis. So that's where I want to see cannabis in the future.
I do have another add too. I'd like to see in the near future and the further future, I'd like to see a lot more ancillary opportunities. Working within the system, we have a lot of restrictions, and it is what it is, right? But there's certain ways we can kind of work around that, and a lot of it's through ancillary opportunities and having access to some of these. If somebody had a product that I had access to and I could get, I would, and I do. So I always go down to the grow shop and like try to stimulate those guys. Hey, if you had this, I would buy it. If you had this, I would get it. Produce it or get somebody to do it, or just always trying to stimulate like those ancillary opportunities, because there's a lot of them currently that within the current restrictions, within the current system, we could grasp, and it would really be successful. How we utilize the local fruit for our gummies. If there was a really cool on island packaging company or something. We have a lot of limitations. We're forced to do a lot of things a certain way by the state and the laws. So if there's ancillary opportunities within that, I think that's really how we can really make this thing count now and going forward, is like understanding those opportunities and trying to grasp them.
I just learned out what ancillary opportunities meant today. So support local, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Support local.
Oh shit! I have to look that up real quick, but I got it. We're good. Yeah, no, honestly, that's what's up. I'm supporting local. I'm glad you guys do that.
As much as we can.
And we all need to understand, like, you guys do have regulations that you have to abide by with the Department of Health, right? So it's not just black and white kind of deal. Hey, come to my garage, bro, come pick up. No, it's not like that. It's you guys have to do all the cross the T's, dot the I's. So
Absolutely.
there's a bit more bureaucracy that falls on your tabletop than most people. But yeah, I love that your heart is towards ancillary opportunities.
Yeah, support local.
Support local, 100%.
Huh?
What about you? Where you want to
What
see?
was the question? I
where
wasn't
do you want to see
listening.
cannabis?
I wasn't listening. What was the question?
Yeah, he's super quiet, not listening.
I want to see cannabis free tomorrow.
There you go. Should have been for
You know what I mean? Certain politicians in certain positions have the power at the wave of a pen to just do shit. So just fucking do it already. And then anybody who's in prison for cannabis-related shit should be let go. Let them go already. No probation, nothing.
It's not even that hard to make.
Yeah, you know what?
It's not even that hard, dude, to make that fucking decision.
I mean, it's not. It could be done at a federal level tomorrow, literally. It could be, but it probably won't. But that's where I want to see it. I mean, I have a very pessimistic personality, but that's my hopefulness that maybe one day it could be like that. But knowing how governments and political systems work, like, good luck. But yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Any other questions that we have from live?
Anybody in here have any questions?
Yeah, engage, guys. Come on, now's your chance.
Doesn't have to be show related. I mean,
Could be anything. Would you rather? Give us a would you rather. Shit. Yes, ma'am.
What do you have a plant that is in a smaller pot but it's grown quite large, and you want to transfer it? Is it just to cut the bag off and sit it inside, or should I just leave?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, if you're going to be transplanting to a bigger pot, I would suggest trying to remove any barrier to that potential root growth. So if it's in a grow bag and it's kind of, I know those grow bags, it'll grow into the bag and it's hard to get off. If it's a biocompostable grow bag, I would say you would probably just plant it. If it's like a fabric grow bag, you probably would want to remove it, because that is going to kind of limit the potential of the root ball proliferating more.
Awesome question. That was an awesome
Thank
question. Yep, super good question.
stop by our booth. We have a shirt for you. Since you're the only one who asked, or you're the first to ask a question, we'll stop by the booth. We'll give you some
Yeah,
shirt.
we'll load
See,
you up.
see you guys. You should have asked a question.
We got some shit. And we got some nutrients and stuff to help you with your grow also, so we'll set you up. Yeah, so just come by the booth. We got you.
Any other questions?
Thank you for your question. I bet you there's more. No?
I was hoping somebody was gonna raise their hand and say, "Too late." Never mind. I'm not gonna ask you a question. No, just kidding. Cool. Is there any last words?
We're good. We're good.
All right. Yeah. Should we start wrapping it up?
Let's just wrap it up, dude.
No. Any last words or words of wisdom? Anything you want to impart for people who are gonna check this out?
Get them, man.
Before we everybody step back. Scoot your chairs back.
No. Just keep on growing, keep on learning. We're no bit better than anybody, so just continue to just be a student and a steward of INA and of our community.
Normalize plant medicine. Try to destigmatize it. The more we can destigmatize it and make it a responsible conversation and not, anything else, I think that's how we progress forward.
Cool. Awesome. That was cool,
Do
man.
you have anything you want to say?
I do not have anything, man. These guys are pretty much covering all bases, and if you just watch this episode, you got the two best growers right here in the state. Just perpetuating everything that they do and living with what they're saying, right? So, you guys' resume is pretty extensive, and your relationship with the plant. So, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for taking the time to talk to everyone here and people on live. No live questions anymore.
What are their thoughts on farmers losing a lot of their caregiving capabilities due to most recent change in policy?
Yeah, good one. We're gonna skip that one because we're almost out of time,
Yeah,
folks.
that's gonna be too long.
Tune in next year and we'll cover that question. Promise.
We'll see what happens on the next episode.
Promise. We'll answer that question in full detail next year.
Yeah. That's kind of a digger right down. So we're good.
We're hoping for a short, easy ones because we're.
What's your favorite
No, the
color?
ones they asked are pretty long. We'll touch on it later.
No, that's good though.
We'll touch on it later.
I would like to just reiterate again, if you're one of these people out there who are still living in the Stone Age when it comes to cannabis education and what this plant is, do your research, do your homework, and come with us to the future. We're all headed in one direction and you're stuck in the past, so just get over it already.
Yep.
Do you guys mind if we do our quick sponsor stuff? We usually end our podcast by listing off our sponsors. And then what you guys can do is you can check out all the sponsors, such as Mills Nutrients, Mills.com, Mills pays the bills.
Pakalolo Farmers, best clothing company ever. PakaloloFarmers.com, check them out.
Brutal Mars Arts for all your graphic design needs. He designed our logo, so check him out if you need that. Print Shop Hawaii, who printed our stickers, shirts, and banners.
Hybrid Collective, Waialae Avenue, or he's down by the glass blowers. Check him out, Jay from Hybrid Collective. Next.
Proact Products sponsored us yesterday. Go check him out for solar needs. He has everything, products and solutions for you.
This is what takes to keep us on the air, man, is just having all these local sponsors. So fucking shout outs. And shout out to Meatlux for the bombest steaks ever. Go check them out, meatlux.com.
And is there any other ones? I feel like we did pick up another one yesterday too.
We're good.
Sorry.
We're good. If you can't remember it, we're good, dude. We gotta talk to them a little later on.
If we forgot you, we're
Sorry,
sorry.
guys.
We'll make it up to you.
Next,
But yeah.
there's the thing back.
We'll return it. Our bad.
All right, cool.
No, thank you guys for fucking joining again. We appreciate it. Thank you all for being here for this first ever live. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe we'll do more of these in the places where we can smoke. Yeah. All right, clap it up. Wait, you guys gotta. I appreciate the applause, but let us clap this out. We need a quiet and good audio for this. I'm just kidding. We really don't. But thank you. Thank you guys. Can we get a picture?
Yeah, that's
Can we get a group picture of it? Up here?
Here.
Oh,
Well, you better do it. Oh, wait.
Wearing the glasses.